Welcome back to our show, and I think that you have finished the exercise number 4 because you have listened twice. One we say, I say to you, one by the audio tape. So it is quite easy. All right, both says slowly. All right, so that you could identify the answer easily. So this time we'll correct the answers. All right, and I have taken notes. The reason why I choose that answer for you. If you want, and if you want to, hey, this guy is always telling a lie. Please, wind back, rewind. Be kind and rewind the tape. Then you listen to that part. Did I say correctly or not? Alright? So that's number 1. Leinster climbs or looks into the servant's room. So I think the answer will be he looks into the servant's room. Because the answer, in the first sentence of the storyteller said that he looked quickly through the window. He looked quickly through the window. Looked everything, looked the building, looked around the building. So, the answer for number 1 will be looks. Number 2. Mr. Liston has only got one arm, and that one arm is his left or his right arm. So, I think the answer will be his left arm, because in the audio tape it also said that the right arm was empty. So he only got one arm, but the tape only said that the right arm was empty. So that means he's got his left arm. Alright? So now the answer will be for number 2, left. Number 3. Leinster will get the money when Alison's brother or wife is dead. And the answer is why. Alison's wife is dead. If she's dead, Leinster will get money. Alright? So why? And I have told you the answer while explaining the exercise number 2. So easy to tell. Number 4. Leinster agrees to use 2 guns or to use 2 hands for the murder. So I think the answer will be 2 hands for the murder. Because the answer I have underlined, I have heard, that is, you must use both hands. And Liston said, you must said to Leinster that he had to use both hands. Alright? So, the answer will be hands. Let's look for answer number 5. Leinster agrees to hide or to steal the jewelry box, so the murder looks like a burglary. So, I think the answer will be hide. Alright? Hide the jewelry box. Because it said over here, you must be, Mr. Aliston said that you had to pretend like a burglary. So he had to hide a jewelry box. So make a murder looks like a burglary. So hide. Number 6. Ellison or Linster goes into another bedroom to hide. And the answer is Ellison goes to another bedroom to hide. Hide and turn music loud. Alright, turn the radio loud. Alright. Ellison. Alright, we have finished the exercise number 4. And let's now listen to the greatest storyteller, that is me. I will tell you the rest of the story. You can look at your book, or you can look on the screen if you don't have your book. Alright. First part. May I turn off the light? Alright, I'm back. Let's listen. Okay, because this one is black, photocopiable, it is black, so I have to read on the screen for the first line. Linster hides in the cupboard, but instead of Mrs. Ellison, the next person to enter the room is Josephine, a servant, who tries on Mrs. Ellison's coat and some of her jewelry. It was then that Linster moved out of the clothes cupboard. He went silently up behind her. He watched her face in the mirror and was still a meter or two away from her when she saw him and turned around. But his left hand was large and fast. It closed around her narrow throat and made no sound as she died. Linster gently but put her body on the bed, then covered her with a blanket. It took only about a few minutes to open the cupboards and make them look untidy. He looked at the little jewelry box, then threw it under the bed. When Ellison entered the room again, he looked at the shape under the blanket. He said, It's done? Yes, said Linster. It's done. You're sure that she's... Yes, Mr. Ellison, she is dead. Linster pulled a white hand from under a blanket. If you don't believe me, feel this. But Ellison jumped back, shaking. That ring, he said slowly. That ring, he said slowly. It's one she almost never... Linster dropped his hand. The money, Mr. Ellison. 5,000. The money was put silently into his hand. I'm going now, Mr. Ellison, said Linster. And then, with a smile, he said, sorry I can't stay and talk to that pretty little servant that your wife has. Ellison looked surprised. The girl? The girl, said Linster. I looked through the window of your servant's room before I climbed up here. And there she was. Yeah, there she was. A pretty girl. I recognize her again anywhere. But I had this job to do. And you don't get paid until you have done the job. Do you? It is cash on delivery. And the man must live. I don't understand what you're talking about, said Ellison. But Linster was already climbing out of a window and said that you will. Mr. Ellison, he said, you will. We'll be right back with the next part of the show. We'll be right back.